Welcome in. It's the Recruiting Roundup, powered by Rock and Refuel Varsity. Jason Jewell, Jared Cohen. Two commitments to get to. Jason, Boise State continues to do a great job year after year in the state of Arizona.
Yeah, first they get Queen Creek offensive tackle Mike Young. He committed last Wednesday. Now, this is a guy that was just starting to heat up. Several other Mountain West schools had offered him, including Utah State and UNLV and Wyoming. But this is the kid, 6'5", 310-pound offensive tackle now that Boise State offensive line coach Scott Huff, I think, is going to make a guard at the next level. I really like his upside. And then on Monday night, on Memorial Day, Chase Cord, the talented quarterback from Sunrise Mountain, surprised everybody, and he committed to Boise State. Boise State is a school that he had just visited a couple weeks ago, along with Colorado, but he had racked up 17 scholarship offers, and then he commits to the Broncos.
It's pretty incredible. Chase Cord had no offers at this time last year. We were wondering, what's going on? What are we missing? Sure enough, 17 offers later and a Boise State commitment. Going back to Mike Young really quickly, you know, it's one thing for a quarterback to commit early. We see that more often, just only limited numbers and on the depth chart. But for an offensive lineman to commit this early, what was in it for Mike Young to do so?
Well, one, I think it was important to him that Boise State offered him first. That was his first Division I scholarship offer. But also, I was told that he wanted just to focus on his senior year, so he just got it done and out of the way. Now, Chase, a very talented player, we've already mentioned. He's one of the few kids ever in Arizona to pass for 3,000 yards and rush for 1,000 yards in one season.
Let's get into some offers now from the Power 5 schools. Kyle Soley, not long ago, not even recruited from an offer standpoint. Here he is, 16 offers, and his 16th is one that's definitely worth noting.
Yeah, I don't think there was a more popular player this past spring than Soley. He now has 16 scholarship offers, the 16th coming from local Arizona State. He's a guy, he's played tight end in Notre Dame Prep last year. Now he's transferred to Saguaro High School, where they're probably going to play him on the defense side of the ball as an outside linebacker.
Now, with Soley, because you mentioned he plays on both sides of the ball, where are some of these Power 5 schools that are starting to recruit him? You know, Cal was there last week. Where do they see him? Which side of the ball?
From what I've been told is the bigger schools are looking at him as an outside linebacker. That's what they want him to play because of the length that he has. You know, he's 6'3" and well over 200 pounds. And with the new spread offense, his length is desired on the defensive side of the ball.
Colby Taylor added another Power 5 offer this past week, Jason. Let's get an update both from his recruitment and his injury status.
Yeah, so the Chandler wide receiver added an offer from Wisconsin. Big Ten offer, big for Taylor. And Wisconsin had luck last year in Chandler getting Garrett Rand from Hamilton to sign with them. But when I was out there at Chandler this spring, I briefly talked with Colby. He wasn't doing a whole lot. He was just now getting back to running after recovering from his broken leg from last year. Hasn't stopped schools, obviously, from recruiting him, and he's expecting a full recovery.
And another popular player from Saguaro, Jason, we mentioned Soley already, is Jax Waycaser receiving his first Power 5 offer.
Yeah, the very talented offensive tackle from Saguaro added 2 offers. He got New Mexico State. Then he got his first Power 5 offer from Kansas. The Jayhawks, they don't recruit out here very much. They felt like Waycaser was the type of offensive line that could come in and play in their spread offense.
And you mentioned New Mexico State. They also offered Adam Bay, one of the top long snappers in the country over at Desert Ridge. He added the New Mexico State offer. Mountain West schools love Arizona. That is not breaking news. And a few of them came in and offered a handful of players. Let's start with Utah State.
Yeah, Utah State's had great success recruiting in this state over the years. And they spent a lot of time over in Chandler last week offering several players. Johnny Johnson, wide receiver at Chandler, stayed at Chandler High School. T.J. Green, very talented running back. Chance Brewington, big-time receiver from Hamilton High School. And then Jonathan Nathaniel, the tackle from Basha, got an offer from them as well as Wyoming. Wyoming, we know, loves to spend some time out here. A.J. Cooper, their defensive line coach, played at Sunny Slope High School and at Glendale Community College, stayed on the west side, and he offered Andrew Nichols, the defensive end tight end from Centennial High School. Then the last Mountain West school that came out here and offered, Air Force, who we've known over the years has recruited here very, very heavily. They offered Basha wide receiver Terrell Brown.
There was also some Ivy League offers. We've seen really ramp up the Ivy League recruitment over the last few years in Arizona. Cornell came in and offered Bryce Gilbert, Jack Patterson, and Cress Preston, Coolidge. Congrats to those three on an Ivy League opportunity. Jason, you made the rounds over the weekend, passing league, big man challenges, and what was some of the things that caught your eye this past weekend?
Well, I was out of three of them. I was out of the Battle of Buckeye, out at Yonker High School, then I stopped at the Stars and Stripes Classic at Cactus High School, put on by Larry Feckenhire, and then I went out to Scottsdale and saw the last part of the Nike 7-on-7. But what really stood out to me was the originality out at Yonker High School. Went out there and saw a bunch of West Side teams. It was very cool. They had a car dealership that sponsored it, and the kids and the linemen were doing truck pulls and a tug of war with a truck, in between. And as I've gone over and getting into year 13, 14, 15 of covering Arizona high school football, that was something original that I saw that broke up the monotony of some of these 7-on-7 and big man challenges.
Absolutely, and there's plenty more of those to come. I like the originality. Change it up, keep it interesting and get these kids excited about it each and every year. That's Jason Jewell. I'm Jared Cohen. This has been the Recruiting Roundup, powered by Rock and Refuel Varsity.